Hello everybody, it is Saturday the 4th of January and I want to talk about infinite awareness and the love of God. For the love of God, let there be some understanding. Now let me say right now, I do not know it all. I do not understand it all. All I'm doing here is telling you what I can see, what I have understood. My truth, my understanding. Take it or leave it. Okay? Think about it. Use your brains. They are not an evolutionary accident. Your brains, that is. They're there for a purpose. Use them. Now, I was listening to David Icke yesterday, and I could have screamed, as he always makes me scream. So he's proclaiming his truth, yeah? And apparently his truth came from somewhere else. He got a download from somewhere. That's what he's also proclaiming, yeah? Right. So, according to his download, we have these options, yeah? How we can see ourselves. You're either just human. Just human. That is, you're an evolutionary accident and you're just material and that's it. Yeah? Or the other option you've got is you can serve some megalomaniac god. Yeah? Yeah. And then he says, but there's another option. You are infinite awareness. You are all. This is just an experience. It's nothing. You are infinite awareness. And that's the truth of David Icke. Right. Okay, let me tell you my version. And again, that is just my version. But just to say there is another possibility. Yeah? To consider. And this is, you are not just human. Human is infinite awareness. It's not one or the other. Human is infinite awareness. But it is restricted in a way that you know everything from the point of human. This is your point of reference. This is your point on the map. This is your point in creation. You are human. And you know according to human. And you need a point of reference on a map to know where it is you're going. Yeah, if you imagine a map with all these, to those of you that still know paper maps and can read them. Yeah? You see all those lines that tell you where you can go, but you need to actually know where you are on that map in order to know where to go next. And that is what human is. It's a point of reference. But from here, we are infinite awareness. And again, that has been shown throughout human history. We can expand our awareness beyond the five senses into a realm that is not known by the five senses. And there are other beings in those realms. And to me, again, this is my point from where I go. To me, that is real. That is a reality. You have the solid reality, you have got the expanded reality. They're both real. They're both real. It's not, again, not one or the other. Are we infinite awareness? Can we go far out to know something else out there? We may be able to go out infinitely, but there will come a point where we no longer know, because it is beyond our point of reference. Yeah? I think we can expand our point of reference, step by step, no more and more and more, but I don't think we can jump from here to all the way out there without having done the steps in between. Expansion has to go step by step by step. Add new knowledge and go from there. Gives you a new point of reference. Go from there. I don't think we can jump, because we will jump into something we do not know, we cannot know. There was knowledge in between we should have had. Again, I think many have jumped too far out, beyond what they understood, and actually not knowing their own point of reference. And that's where this whole lunacy came from. Right. So, again, to me, that is reality. That, I think, is something we need to accept as reality and go from there. Now, I've just, again, had another message, somebody jumping down my throat because I said I believe on the God, on the Bible, of the Bible, sorry. I do. Yeah. What I believe is that there are other beings out there, and that there were humans that were in contact with those beings. Are humans right now that's still in contact with those beings. Yeah? Again, I believe that to be real. And it is influencing how humanity is evolving, how we know ourselves, what it is we're doing, because we are being directed. We are being directed. I believe that to be real. Yeah, the God of the Bible exists. Now, okay, is that God called Yahweh? How would I know? Was there a man, a historical man, that was Abraham? I don't know. It is actually completely immaterial. It is just the principle that is important, that there was a human being, whatever he was called, doesn't matter, that was in contact with another entity out there. Whatever that entity was called, doesn't matter. Just the principle. And that I believe to be real. Now, the stories. And here comes. Take people out of the story. They are just imaginary. Hell no. Hell no. They are not built on imagination. They're built on knowing. They work something. They're spells. They are spells that actually create within you. So what happens is, if you have an Isaiah or Ezekiel or an Abraham, a being that is in contact with another being out there. And what that being out there says is, Son of man, now that you're here, let's reason together, you proclaim my will. You proclaim the reality of me. Make the people know. And really tell my story. That is what these sons of man, human beings, are being told. Tell my story. Tell my story to the people. And those stories are powerful because they affect us. They affect our imagination, they affect our thoughts, they affect our emotions. Yeah? And those are our creative forces. We are spellbound in those stories. And they move our energies. And thereby they're influencing the affairs of man. We are doing according to those stories. And they are not random. And they're not built on imagination. They're built on the knowledge of us. They know what this story will do to us and what we will do out of that story. That's knowledge. That is scientific. Yeah? It is not imaginary fairy tales. And then, when I say they are a spell, that is why those stories repeat. Yeah? Because if a spell is working, use it again. Why not? You know it works, you use it. So you have stories that then slightly vary from one another. You may change a name, or you change a location. It doesn't change the essence of the story, and it will still work the same thing. So that is why they are reusing spells. Or they might add something onto it. Change it slightly, change the story slightly to create a slightly different outcome through us. That is what they're doing. And this is not imaginary. Again, this is real. And this is what we need to understand. It is, in a way, I say it is a spell. It is not magic. It is built on knowledge of us. But in a way, of course, because we do not understand what these things work, we're not aware of what it does inside of us. We do not see the conjurer's trick. And that is what we need to see in order so that the trick no longer works. But if you go and say, oh, it's all imaginary, God doesn't exist, we are infinite beings, which means we have no point of reference on the map anywhere, that is taking you further and further into ignorance of not understanding what the hell is going on here. Just burn the book, say it's all imaginary, and move on, sheep. Nothing to see here. It just takes you further into ignorance. Yeah, this is not imaginary. This is real. And it's built on knowledge, on solid knowledge of us. So yes, we are human, we are infinite beings. Simultaneously. It's not a choice, one or the other. God of the Bible is real. There are beings out there that are influencing us. Now, as I said, they are influencing us on the level of thought, on the level of emotion, through the power of the word, through the power of the story. And here's, I want to talk about the love of God and what love actually is. Now, our energies, thoughts and emotion, and here come the hermetic principles of the male and the female, which you can also see in the trees of life, whether that be the Gnostic cosmology or the Kabbalistic tree of life. Again, everything is split into male and female. Again, there are those that tout great knowledge. You have videos on the internet, tons of them. Great knowledge of the Hermetic principles. And all they do is regurgitate the words. Yeah, I am on a level of great knowledge. No, you are on the level of a parrot. Yeah? You are able to replicate sounds. That's all you're doing. But you have no understanding of what the sounds actually mean. So let's think about what is the male and the female principle and what is depicted in those trees of life. And the male and the female are an expanding force and a restraining force. And that is, again, both on the level. Everything contains the male and the female. You have expanding thoughts, you have restricting thoughts. Expanding emotions, restricting emotions. Yeah? And between them, they should create balance, to come up with something, given all the information, both expanding and restraining, to come together, let's say, in the heart, to come up with something that is halfway rational, hopefully. Now, and here comes love. Love is a restraining force. It's on the side of the female. The female is restraining. The male is expanding. Yeah, if you see Sophia, let's say, Sophia is wisdom. Wisdom is something that should restrain you. Yeah, not everything is possible. Wisdom should restrain you. Is it wise? That's a restriction to everything is possible. Her husband is Thelatos, which is desire. Desire is out there, everything. But wisdom should restrain him. Again, there you create the balance. Love is on the side of the female. Love is a restraining force. If you love something, if you want to give to something because you love it, it restrains you as to what you can do. First of all, your love should be built on the truth. That means you know, actually know that which you love. Otherwise, your love is not real. Yeah, you say, I love something that you don't know. That love is not real. Example, people proclaiming themselves to be animal lovers. I love my little pooch. Yeah? And I'm killing my little pooch by feeding it chocolate. That's not love. First of all, it is not built on the knowledge of the dog, because then you would know that chocolate will kill it. And that should restrain you from feeding it chocolate. They're unrestrained. Yeah? So that's the reality of love. It is actually a restraining force. So people go around going, oh, we're all there ever is and ever will be. We are free. The Creator is love. I can expand because the Creator is love. I can expand because the Creator is a restraining force. What you're saying is actually totally nonsensical. I say, if there is something happening now, and God forbid that something should happen right now in the middle of all of this lunacy, and there are beings out there watching us. They're watching us because this is the greatest comedy show in the cosmos. Yeah, they're laughing their asses off up there about the lunacy that is going on here and the complete ignorance of anything that is happening. So when we say, that God of the Bible, or those beings, the beings that to my mind are real, they're real influences out there, and they have no love. That means they have no restraint. And it's not coming out of not knowing us, because they do. They know us. They know exactly what will happen, but they have no restraint in what it is they're making us do. And that is no love, no restraint. And they're creating stories that make us do things, and they're not restrained by love of what is actually good for us. Or not. They don't care. Again, no love, no care. They don't care. Without care, there is no love. Without care, there is no restraint. Anything is possible. Make them do whatever you want. If they die, they die. Who cares? They don't care. And here's again, that's the correct understanding of words, of what they do, of what we are doing, of how we are being influenced by the power of the word, by the power of those stories, which are powerful spells built on knowledge, not on our imagination. So, and what's happening at the moment is they are tearing down the stories. because they want to implement a new spell. So they need to tear down the stories. That is, everybody on the internet that has great viewing numbers, from what I can see, most of them, not all, most of them, they either create complete confusion, or, as I say, they say, this is not real, this is just imaginary, just get out of it, nothing to see here, sheep, just tear down the stories. Again, you are tearing down all our points of reference of where we are on the map. Yeah? We are just an illusion. We are not real. This world is not real. The gods are not real. The stories are imaginary. They're tearing down the map completely, where we will find ourselves in the wilderness, lost. Lost in space. Really, lost in space. That will be us. There's no more point of reference. Once we are completely lost, God will come with a new story in which we can exist. There are already stories like technocracy. That's a story. They are creating new stories. They need to tear the old one down. And they haven't one hell of a job tearing it down, because it was a very powerful spell. But again, something will come from somewhere else, and that's what it says in the book of the Revelation. Something will come from somewhere else and give of its truth freely. You will be given another story of God, of what you are and what you're in. And you can believe. Make it your reality. That's what you're doing. Put it into the mind of people, repeat it endlessly until it becomes a reality. That's the spell. That's how it works. So why do we not create our own story, build on something that we know? Again, there are some things that we need to take with us to the other side, building blocks that create the new foundation. Something we build on. We need something to build on. A foundation. And again, we are human, to my mind. To me, those would be my building blocks for the new age. Say it like that. The foundation for the new age. We are biological machines. We are human. We are expanded awareness. It is not a question of one or the other. We are that. There are other realities out there beyond our five senses. We have desires, yes, but we should also have love, which means we must be restrained in what is possible. Again, restrained from our knowledge of good and bad, from our point of reference. The point of reference should be here, not out there. We are the point of reference. Yeah? And we should love this world. We should know this world, because this is where we have our being. This is where we are human. So we should care about this world. We can have desires, but if we truly love this world, that means that is a restraining force as to what we can or cannot do. And why don't we build a reality out of that? Whether that reality is going to be good, it remains to be seen. In the end, that's all we can do. Yeah? We get a foundational idea of what we are and what we're in, and we go from there. And we create outcomes, and we will either enjoy or suffer the outcomes. But again, if we know what we're doing, that means if something goes wrong, means we have to work a correction. If there's suffering, we have to work a correction. It's a glorious will of God, and we must just go on into the darkness. But do this consciously. Be in a story consciously. What do you call that? Lucid dreaming. Yeah? Know what it is you're doing. And we are the judges of where this story goes. No longer directed by an entity that is not human and that has no love. Yeah? Or we are so restrained here, we should be. That is wisdom, that is love, and that is wisdom, being restrained. And that is the female. Yeah? The male is in us, the desire is in us, but it cannot just fly rampantly. Yeah? Woman has to rein the lunatic in. And that is how it should work. So as I said, it is a different story. And that is what we are, storytellers. That's what humans are. That is why they can direct us through the power of the word, through the power of the story. Let's write our own story, please. And stand in our own truth. And go from there. Okay, folks, I leave it at that for today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.